earlier. I had to get off earlier because I had to get my new phone and boost. But to all my Redtailians of the Redtail clan, I am back. So I would like to inform all of you that I'm doing part 2 of this live stream where we left off. So and anywho, that is so I'm gonna go ahead and do my live stream. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue where I left off. Well, the other one lasted about an hour or two, so let's go ahead and finish up this live stream, guys. So let's see where we left off on. The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. So let's see where we left off. So I had to, as I explained earlier, I kind of had to wait. So as we showed the business card earlier, and pretty much they learned about the waiter's true identity. So the witness there on the stand was in fact the waiter who gave you. Was it in fact the waiter who gave you the orders? Who told you not to mention that you seen the foreign gentlewoman at the scene? Well, hold it. And Inspector Hasaga? I was worried something like this may happen. The moment you asked me to submit my sketch as evidence, I realized it was a possibility. The court will take this fund and add it to the record as evidence. One second, ladies and germs. 1 second, ladies and germs. I've got to get something real quick. Having technical difficulties with my controller. Ladies and germs. Let's see. Okay, ladies. Let's see. Ladies and germs. All rise, motherfucker. There we go. There we go. Well, is there a problem? And I plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. Yes, I remember now. If I can exchange business card, I strive to carry all out investigations flawlessly. It's my guardian principle. But I let myself get distracted when I made that sketch. It's unusually careless mistake. You say you are really a detective? But why would a detective be working as a restaurant waiter? Ah, of course! Your Sally must be... Wait, What do you say? Your salary must be terrible. Wait, your salary must be... I was working undercover. Undercover? Yes, there have been series of incidents at the restaurant recently. In order to investigate, I had to get a job there as a waiter, working undercover. Incidents at the restaurant? What kinds of incidents? There would be a classified police, which I am not at liberty to divulge. However, I can state the category that they are unrelated to this homicide. Very well then, Inspector Asgana, but you will elaborate at one point to the court. Of course, Your Excellency. We have just heard new information that the two witnesses beside you. So at the time of the shooting, was in fact another person present at the table. If that is indeed true, clearly you would also have been aware of this person's presence, having served at the table in question. However, your testimony did not allude with this other diner. Therefore, I am led to assume, if in your professional capacity as a police officer, you are required these witnesses to be in agreement. Would that be correct? Correct, Your Excellency. Unbelievable! As I suspected. Bang! As soon as I heard the gunshot, I ran out of the kitchen to see what happened. The victim was slumped in his chair, and beside him, a gun in his hand, stood the accused student. Sitting opposite the victim at the same table was a young lady, whom I guessed to be an Englishwoman. So, the truth does come out. Immediately, sealed off the restaurant, and reported the incident to the Bureau. It was then that I received some special orders. Special orders? You mean to say, remove the Englishwoman from the scene at once? It was made clear that the Englishwoman's presence at the restaurant was concealed. Those were my orders. But this Englishwoman was the killer. I think it would be in everyone's best interest not to pursue the idea. The Empire views friendly terms of its relationship with Britain more highly than anything at the moment. An Englishwoman has been murdered on our soil. To name an Englishwoman as a primary suspect, well, without irrefutable evidence, that would be completely out of the question. So, the reason for the disappearance of the phantom woman in this case... But that's not right! One possibility does spring to mind. What do you mean, Kazuma? Yuma University is currently hosting a number of exchange students in Great Britain, and I'm fairly certain one of them is studying in the medical facility's research laboratory. Is a young Englishwoman. What? You're a really shrewd man. I can see why you're chosen for a candidate for the overseas study tour. You mean? When I removed the woman from the scene of the crime, I thought it would be prudent to check her identity first. The court demands you name the young lady in question at once, Inspector! The Englishwoman sitting at the university's professor's table was a certain Miss Jezebel Brait. She is a foreign student studying in the research laboratory of Yuma University's medical facility. What's happening here? I admit the special orders from the police bureau. I erased all evidence of this young lady's presence at the scene. Witness to make no mention of her in their testimonies. It must be up to your Excellency to decide how you deal with the situation. Very well. My thoughts on the matter as follows. Thus far, the case presented to the court has been underpinned by a particularly crucial premise. Namely, the victim was dining alone. However, as we now discovered, this premise is false. It would be discretion of justice system to ignore the truth and give a ruling at this point. But Your Excellency, this would mean the missing new deadline of a ruling order to send a telegraphic report to Britain. Our own government will surely be displeased by such actions. Calm yourself, Consul. I will not allow the government of our country nor any other influence the proceedings of my courtroom. Inspector Hosgana? Yes, sir. You will locate this Jezebel Breed and escort her to the courtroom with the utmost urgency. At once, Your Excellency. But that means you're going against the special orders you were given from the police bureau. As I said before, it is my guiding principle to carry out all investigations flawlessly. So, it won't be a problem. Nothing will get in my way. Court will adjourn briefly. The prosecution with the English student Jezebel Breed to the witness stand. Myself clear? Yes. Yes, Your Excellency. Good then. We shall have a 30-minute recess before reconceiving. To be continued. I like where this is going. Second November 11:38 in the Supreme Court. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. That was superb. Ah, man, my heart was in mouth was. My heart was in my mouth. It was almost believable. I mean, look at you in there. You were drenched in sweat with your eyes popping and your knees knocking, and you were grinding your teeth. But it was a grim sight before I knew it. You started finding the inconsistencies in the testimonies. I think you might have a natural talent for being a lawyer. Forget it, it's terrifying. Even if I get through this, I don't even ever want to see the inside of a courtroom again. Anyway. Looks like we exposed your phantom lady at last. Now, Miss Jezebel Breed, student from the Great Britain, is she? That's what I was trying to tell everyone from the start. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone. That young woman with him, like I've been saying all along. Yes, you have, haven't you? Hey, Whittle. I may not be overly confident in the courtroom. Of observation are one thing I'm sure of. Yes, I can see that. So, this young gentlewoman, thanks to our detective friend, she was hastily escorted away from the scene, it seems. Did you see what happened with that? No, I didn't see any of it. I was just on my way to the restaurant myself, then on the floor next to Dr. Wilson's table, I noticed there was a gun laying on the floor, but just after I went to go bend down, I picked it up. I didn't have time to think about where the sound of the gunshot came from, but the waiter ran over to me and I was looking as white as a sheet. And then he bundled me into some sort of small pantry next to the kitchen. Wait, was that last part you said there, Ryosuke? Bundled him into a small pantry next to the kitchen. Doesn't make any sense. Fast thinking by the detective, he apprehended his suspect without a moment delay. Yes, and because I was shut in the pantry, I have no idea what happened outside in the dining area. There you are. Well done for both of you. Professor Makotoba. Well, it seems I was right. The pair of you makes an outstanding team. You've exceeded my expectations, I have to say. Yes, it seems you planned this from the start. You arranged things so that I wouldn't be able to. You arranged things so I wouldn't be able to act as a lawyer at this trial. Our modern country is still our justice system even more so, which is why I firmly believe that we need to send our brightest young stars overseas to learn all that they can. I wanted to avoid any situation that may have resulted in your study toward Great Britain being canceled. Well, it makes no difference. Lawyer or otherwise, I'm kind of a man who can't help his best friend reverse the worst crisis in his life. But I shouldn't have to waste everyone's time to study overseas anyway. Wait, what are you saying, Wait, what are you saying, Kazuma? So that's your stance. I was afraid you'd feel that way. Kazuma? Well then, it looks like it all comes down to you, young man. To me? Yes, you need to prove. Yes, you need to prove your innocence and uncover what really restaurant. I must say, I would very much like to know the truth. After all, I have a personal connection in this case. So if you don't mind me asking, Professor, did you know the victim? Yes, I did. As you're probably aware, Dr. John H. Wilson was a visiting professor at UMA, and it was I who invited him. I see. I didn't know that before. Anyway, you're probably about to go into battle. The victim was a university professor from Great Britain, and a well-known one at that. Naturally, our government is looking to identify and punish the culprit as quickly as possible. But let's not forget who we're going up against. The gentlewoman whose involvement our police bureau went to the extraordinary lengths to hide. Yes, and I'm sure the will be using every tool at their disposal to quash your case. But I have no doubt that you pair will put up a good fight at least. Oh, best of luck. Thank you. Now then, I need you to run an errand at the university at once. There is something I think we may need. Of course. Good luck, Kazuma-sama. Defendant Nahato! Court recess is over. Please, make your way back to the courtroom at once. It's time. Let's go. Let's get back to it, partner. go in there and deal with the decisive blow before those old fossils know what hit them. Cosmo? What? Think you really... What for? Well, if he hadn't believed in me, then I'm fairly sure I'd already have been found guilty by now. Look, I have no... look, listen, I have faith in you. To rephrase that. As a lawyer, and as a friend. Coming from you, that means a lot. If I'm found guilty in this trial, he's really going to give up his dream in studying abroad. That's the kind of true friend he is. But this isn't this isn't just my battle anymore. Whoever we're up against, we absolutely cannot afford to lose. Alright then. I'll save the thank yous after the trial. You can treat me to one of those Suzuki meals if you like. We can get it from on University Street. With an extra large portion, of course. Oh my gosh.
The court hereby resumes the trial of Ryunosuke Hano. Prosecutor Arachi, have you managed to subpoena the witness?
Yes, Your Excellency. Against all odds. And thanks to a certain young stripling, the prosecution's now under a rather painful instruction from the government. Sorry. Not the government structure, that's their job. No, it's nothing to worry about. It's highly unlikely that the good relations we forged with Great Britain will emerge from this trial in the sky. Oh, you think it's nothing to worry about when the treaty breaks down on our nation's founders? Again, terribly sorry. If the friendship between our nations is really so fragile, then the treaty isn't worth the isn't worth the paper that's written on it. Yeah, I'm doing terrible tonight. You really have nothing to worry about, Ryunosuke. What do you mean? A secret trial, anxiety over some foreign government's opinions, a bungled investigation, missing witness. This is what our nation's justice system is. This is the Supreme Court of Japan or of England. Shut up. You jumped up, rookie boy. You and your friend are nothing. Nothing to the situation our nation falls on. By aligning ourselves with this great power, we'll become strong. Diplomacy has never been more crucial. Steady politics is what will secure our futures. I won't deny that I'm no expert. I'm just a student, one who has accurately studied harder too. But standing here now in our Supreme Court, there is one thing that I feel strongly. A country that fails to uphold the truth and in its justice system is our country with no future at all. That was well said. Well said, Ryunosuke. Despite the wide-eyed look of terror. You little brats!
Thank you, counsel. This court is the pinnacle of our nation's justice system, and exists solely for the prisons of truth. With that in mind, this trial will now resume with the next witness taking the stand. The visiting student from the Great Britain, Miss Jezebel Great.
Yes. Your Excellency. You're Miss Jezebel Breed. Huh? Well, what a delinquent. It is welcome to such a fine gentlewoman to Japan from such a distant land.
Tea! Somebody bring English tea! In England, no discussions to take place without tea!
Is that true? No idea. So, could we possibly trouble you to state your name and occupation to the court? Of course. My name is Atano Ascara. I've been working undercover, the head waiter of the cover, but yes, we already know about you already.
And Ascara! Where your manners in England, it's always the ladies first.
Is that true? No idea. But more importantly, a little earlier today, you said something to me. You said your powers of observation are the one thing you're sure of. Yes, but I think I didn't I? Yet your description for this amazing sight was so simply a woman. Sorry, Inosuke, but powers of observation aside, your powers of description are sorely lacking. Guilty? So, dear lady, once again, if we may trouble you for your name and occupation, please. I'm terrified, dear lady, but what? The lady says her name is Jezebel Bree. She comes from London, England. Now, she is a visiting research student, currently enrolled at University Medical Facility. Oh my, what a rare treat. Her dulcet tones of the delightful language for the British people. I'm afraid I don't understand a word you said, but it's a beautiful Hushman birdsong. As far as I can tell, the detective is translating her words faithfully enough. Yes, I agree. You're obviously doing fine in England. You're obviously going to be doing fine in England, Kazuma. Apparently it doesn't rattle you at all, does it? Nor you. You clearly have been paying attention in your English classes, Ryunosuke. I don't know, Whittle.
But the court thanks the beautiful lady for taking the stand. Now then, if we may trouble you to confirm something, Miss Bree. 3 days ago, a restaurant called La Macara, a grim murder took place. Kurt believes that you were dining in there with the victim, Dr. Wilson, at the time. Is that correct?
What is she saying? She says, yes.
This could take some time.
So even though she's studying here in Japan, she can't speak any Japanese? She'd like to apologize for disappearing from the scene. She says that she was due to make a presentation at the university, so she had to leave immediately. Interesting when you're the one who engineered her escape. I was only following special orders from the bureau. Why not, dear lady? Would you be so kind to cast your eyes over this photographic print? Seeing as you were unfortunately present at the scene of the crime, could it be that your resplendent eyes caught sight of The wicked perpetrator, perhaps? Apparently, it was very frightening and sorrow sight.
Do you mean to say...
It would appear the Redtail did witness the crime. The very moment when the accused was standing right there in this courtroom, shot the victim in the cold blood. It would appear the moment the witness standing right there.
Order in the court!
Did you hear that, Your Excellency? Yeah, we have an absolutely conclusive witness statement. Well, looks like it's clear now. Clear who our real enemies. Unfortunately, I will have to ask you to formally testify if you please. Can I tell the court the exact nature of this frightening sorrow sight you described? I don't know what the hell is saving this in case I screw up. I had arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson. I had arranged for a meet slightly. Wait, I arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day. The professor was unable to eat, so I ordered for myself only a beef steak. After a while, the accused came over to greet the professor and then got into a refuse argument. Then not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes. I don't carry a gun myself, so I really say I couldn't have been the culprit. This is condemned. No! I didn't have any kind of argument with the professor at all. Quietly, you filthy wretch. Look at you, black-hearted blackguard, and at the Snow White Angel. I'm sure even a dark-minded scoundrel like you can imagine whose words the court is going to believe. You're still making the same mistake, Shirinosuke. You mustn't blurt out when you're goaded like that. That's a lesson you need to learn. But he's so annoying! Of course, I was at the scene of the crime as well. I took the statements from the lady and the two witnesses who testified before and reported back to the bureau. It was decided that Miss Breed was not involved, so I let her go. The testimonies of the last two witnesses were completely worthless, however. Even so, on the day in question, the lady was wearing the same outfit as she is today. As you can see, there is nowhere about her person that she could conceal a photo. She could hide a gun almost anywhere in that outfit if she wanted to. Unless until the precise location where the witness is have hidden a weapon can be shown, this is moot. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. The witness's own words on the matter. It's ridiculous. If Eliza lift up her dress, I can prove it. Don't think about doing anything rash, Ryunosuke. But I didn't find the gun I picked up. There must have been another gun there that day. You're right about that, which means this lady was hiding a gun somewhere. That's where we have to prove now. do so, we'll need to pull her testimony apart. The defense may cross-examine the witness. Oh, yes, Your Excellency. Okay. We need to find a statement that doesn't sound right to me. I think I found a few. Arranged to meet some lunch with Dr. Wilson that day. The professor was unable to eat, so I ordered myself a beefsteak. That's true. For a while, the accused came over to greet the professor and then got into a fierce argument. Let's press that. I never got in an argument with the professor. But all I did was notice him, was go over and say hello. Please don't get angry with me. No, I didn't. I was directed to retort you. I meant for the lady next to you. But anyway, as I said, I didn't argue with the professor. I'm afraid your words are... Sorry. Miss Freak does not appear to speak Japanese. Oh, no, it's not. English is a feature Seppuku issue. I wonder if the prosecution will feel that way forever. Only in the presence of a beautiful woman. That beautiful woman is telling blatant lies with a completely straight face. To find something that will unravel her testimony, no matter how significant it may be. Anyway, it seems that the argument, the accused briefly returned to his own seat. That part ties in what she said, doesn't it? Yes, I still had some coffee to drink. Next time you got up, and the next time you got up after that, when I finished my coffee, I stood up to leave. Not long afterwards, press that. Like I said, there's no point in repeating that assertion over and over. Well, I wasn't expecting to be attacked by my own side. As the defendant, you can't deny that when the shot rang out of the restaurant, you had a gun in your hand. Well, yes, that's true, but I picked up the gun next to the floor, and the professor was on his back. Yes, there was someone much closer to the victim than me at the time. It seems to me that your accusation was just... saying what she saw. This is already the international incident as far as I'm concerned anyway. Okay. I don't have... Yeah. Very well in saying that, but can you prove it? Absolutely. I verified it personally. You verified it? Yes. Merely after the incident, I checked to make sure the lady was not carrying a weapon. As I deserve saying I'm not. That's all you did? You just asked her? Sure you carried out a physical search, Inspector. No. Why on earth not? The Honorable English Gentlelady clearly stated that she did not possess a weapon. Obviously no need of further probing in the matter. Or there was no permission given for any further probing in the matter, perhaps. Say that you will, but you're going to continue with the demands that you support the assertion of facts. In other words, he wants evidence. Do we have evidence? The only witness is to point out that, of course, she wanted to stay and assist with the investigation. She was in a hurry for the presentation at the university, so she was compelled to leave. And the fact that your office had told you to get the woman out of there. Not to get her out of there, I just urged her to leave. she in no way meant to write on the crime, which is why she was too happy to cooperate to testify in court today. Unlike a certain student who refuses to admit when the game is up. So she's maintaining that you get into an argument with the professor and that the way in which you shot him, which is out and out total, not a son of a lie. Still, her statement is very compelling. After all, she is elegant, refined, young, and beautiful, gentlewoman from Britain, and stark contrast you to dress from head to toe in a dull black uniform. You dress the same way as you, except for flapping red ribbons. Well, anyway, this is our only chance to expose her testimony as a fiction as it is. If we can't do that, then the trial's over. Even with your thick skin, you must be able to feel the murderous looks from getting in the courtroom. Only too well, I'm half dead already. In fact, I can't see a single inconsistency in her testimony. It doesn't make me feel any better. The first thing to do is press her on any other statements that seem slightly off to you. Do that, it will present itself, I promise you. I need to expose the truth of the face. I had arranged to start with luncheon. What was my day? Professor was unable to eat, so I ordered myself a beef steak. Alright. Yes! He was unable to eat, you say? And that's because he just had a tooth removed from the heart clinic, correct? That's right. Okay, you're supposed to actually check with the witness before answering. Was Miss Brett aware of the fact? It seems so, yes. She heard the professor was of the dental treatment. So that would mean it was you who ate the steak pictured here, is that right, Miss Bree? That's right, yes. But a print you have here shows the table exactly as it was left after the horrifying events. Exactly as it was left. Dear me, what's a horrifying experience to have traveled distant islands on the far side of the world and brought up such a tragic incident. Have no fear, my dear lady. I swear I will crush the evil spirit on the judgment light. So the victim, Dr. Wilson, had nothing to eat or drink at all? That's right. Other than carbonated water. Just water? Yes, the professor was unable to eat, but he had been given permission to drink water. It appears the diners toasted their lunch with a glass of water each. So each raised a glass. Carbonated water. What do you think, Ryunosuke? About the witness? That last statement of yours, Miss Bree, has a profound bearing on this case. Well, how fascinating. Don't tell us. What is this profound bearing, Come on, you know this, dude. I personally think the glass... I now remember the picture. If I can remember the picture. Let's go. See that picture, guys? They were toasting. They were toasting. You'd see another glass there. Man, I know that. Who are they fooling? There's only one glass there. A significant statement will become apparent when the time is right. Defense calls for the witness's last statement to be formally added to the testimony. Well, stop, counsel. Anyway, Bree, why don't we just add it to your testimony? Gladly, she said. That was brilliant, Kazuma. I'm going to remember that one. Which one? The significance will become apparent at the time is right. You could really use that phrase. I hope there are some more useful tips you're picking up from the experience than that, Ryanosuke. Please take for myself. I'm going to present it now. I got you now. Zit. That's it! Let me just confirm something, please. It's something to do with this photographic print. Just a short while ago, you spoke of this print showing the victim's table at the scene of the crime. That's exactly what was left. That is correct, the lady says. Well, that is, it's very odd, very odd. Dear me, what's odd? It's the defense's inability to express itself. Ryanosuke, what is this print that looks odd to you? Well, it's very obvious. It's the cheers. The cheers? Miss Breeden just told us that she and the professor said cheers over a glass of water. But if that were true, there should be 2 glasses on the table, not 1. You're quite right, Counsel. There's only 1 glass in the picture here. As we're supposed to be impressed by this nitpicking over Manali, what's the possible difference does the presence or absence of a glass make on the case? Minishire, you say? Could it be that the detective he removed the glass from the table to conceal the lady's presence? Of course not. I would never do something like this. But there should have been 2 glasses on the table. Are you saying you're going to try to tell me you can clink with only 1? You're quite right. I certainly took 2 glasses to the table. Inspector, what did the lady say? It would seem that it was Miss Breeden who took the glasses from the table. What? It was so terrifying, everything that happened. Panic, and I thought I should try to hide the fact that they've been there at all, she's saying. Good gracious! Sorry. Yes, I assured the court before. There's no consequence at all. Oh, please! We must remember that this student had just murdered this lady's luncheon companion before her eyes. Who could blame her for concealing glass or 2 in a state of disarray? That's absurd! Oh, really? So do we take it you are now to accuse this vulnerable, young, beautiful woman of mischief? No, this can't be down to mischief. I'd like to know exactly how the lady was seen. It would seem that she slipped into a small handbag she was carrying. A handbag, you say? Yes, Your Excellency. A small handbag pouch commonly carried by well-to-do women in England. She's a beautiful lady with a great... She's a beautiful lady, has very graciously explained how and then why she removed the glass from the scene now. However, the fact remains that the glass has absolutely no bearing to the case. This sudden has been trying to confuse the court with logical reasoning, but in the end it comes to nothing. No more prestigious accusations. You have wasted enough time already.
Indeed, the lady offers a satisfactory explanation as to why she removed the glass. I think henceforth we consider the matter to have no bearing on the case. Counsel for the defense, are you in agreement?
Well, really. If you want to pursue this matter further, you're going to need to show it has deeper significance. Yes, you're right. She has to take the glass away from her handbag. There's no deeper significance as it is. She took the away from... That's me. The fact is she took the glass, a deeper significance here. So why do you think that? Because it's a property of the restaurant. It's not... You take a soap from public baths? What? No, but I mean, that's significant here. It's very significant, but isn't the time or place. More important things to concentrate on now. I think maybe you should reconsider your position too. Sorry, I will.
Indeed, the lady offered a satisfactory explanation as to why she removed the glass. I think, henceforth, we'll consider the matter to have no bearing on the case. Counsel for the defense, are you in agreement?
Well, I don't know. Wait, the lady put the glass in her handbag, you say? Don't try to keep up. It's already explained to the court that all English gentlewomen carry handbags for small items. Let me see. A little while ago, Miss Brett stated the following. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. But what she forgot to mention was her handbag, in which it would be possible to conceal a gun. You're right.
You're right.
Well done, partner. I had a feeling you'd pick up on that, too. What are you insinuating, you vile blackguard? It's very simple. A gunshot was heard when the defense picked up the gun from the restaurant floor. But as he didn't fire the gun, we can deduce that there is much have been another firearm at the scene. The true murder weapon, if you will. You can't be seriously suggesting... Inspector Hasagana! I should... stop trying to attack the controller. Yes? Did you or did you not Isabel's Breed's handbag on the day of the murder? No, sir, I did not. As I thought. So in other words, another gun that was actually used to kill the professor could have been hidden in Miss Breed's handbag? No! Order! What is the meaning of this, Inspector? The meaning of what, Parsakarachi? Why on earth did you not have the lady open her handbag to show you the contents at the time? Thanks for your budget incompetence. Now she has to endure these uncomfortable accusations. Brilliant work, partner. Now we have a chance to expose the real woman behind the mask. So you do think so, Kazuma? Sorry for the situation. Clearly you have no faith in the police. Like, clearly you have no faith in the police, huh? As I said, I did not search the lady's handbag after the shooting, simply because it was unnecessary. Unnecessary? In what way? I ought to thank the student lawyer, really. I had completely forgotten about this photograph print. The print is a photograph that I thought it would be prudent to take immediately after the shooting. As you can see, clearly shows Miss Breed's handbag. Well, I never! You can see right through what's inside. That's right. Apparently, meshwork bags are like these height of fashion in London at the moment. So the contents are clearly visible? Exactly. So there was no need to search the lady's handbag. If there had been a gun inside, it would have been immediately obvious. As you can see, there's nothing to prove Miss Britt's guilt here. Thank you for helping me prove that, Nyara-san. Order! Inspector Asakana, you will submit a print of the evidence at once. Certainly, Your Excellency. Can I look at that one more time? I think you've had enough to cross it. Wait. Look at that photo. What should you? What about that photo right there? But why did she take the glass? Unless she took the... There wasn't another gun after all. I'm thinking about this, guys. What if she took the gun out of her handbag and threw it on the ground? It's gotta be an explanation. That's what I think is happening. She must have threw the gun on the ground and then quickly swiped the glass into her handbag. Because why would you randomly have a wine glass just sitting there? Plus, what is that scar on his arm? That part I'm beginning to wonder. The court has now been considerable evidence. As a photograph print is submitted to the court record appears of no further significance. As far as that is, there's no any room for doubt in this matter. I must make my ruling. Indeed, there is only one logical conclusion. The pathetic rookie slumped over the bench before us, and the only possible perpetrator of this crime. No! Just when I thought I was beginning to turn things around, I'm in a worse situation than I was from the start. Kazuma? I'm sorry, Inosuke. Now that the cross-examination of the witness is over, there's no way to force the trial to continue. What? You mean this is it? I will say you put up quite a for a rookie student, but the weak are meat, while the strong eat. You're wasting your time. There's no way to defeat true justice. Hey, fact, you chew out on your own heart's content from the inside of your cell. This can't be happening. Am I really going to be found guilty of a crime that I didn't commit? And Kazuma, his dream going to study in Great Britain will slip through his fingers. Kazuma, what? Is there really no chance of turning this trial around? You heard the judge. There is nothing that the last photograph the detective produced that we can contest, which means there's no basis on which we can argue for the trial. Very well, I will have now proceed immediately to the ruling. Since we'll be able to report to the British government one time after all. Smoke little. So, having considered all the evidence placed before me, objection! Wait, Your Excellency! Ryunosuke, I don't think you can roll out this case just yet. This is a Thomas is getting tennis. When His Excellency deems a trial over, he gives the ruling. That's the most basic protocol of the courtroom. Your Excellency, just a moment ago you said this. As this photograph print submitted appears to have no further significance, there's no longer for any room for to doubt in this matter, but I must make my ruling. Now, which means there is no problem with the evidence, so significant detail, I mean. Then the ruling on the case at this time would be out of question. This is a blatant straw clutching. Look at the photograph print. All it shows is the... Hold on, guys. I gotta answer that. Alright guys, I'm back. All it shows is the handbag of the gentlewoman was carrying in the day in question. There could be no problem with this evidence. You better know what you're saying and what you're doing, Ryunosuke. I understand your objection, counsel. Certainly, the new evidence submitted by the detective has not undergone the court's scrutiny. Please see, we can clean out new information in the handbag. Well, that's exactly, really. The prosecution's coming. Rookie is desperate weasels. Yes, I am desperate, but this is just a wheeze. Something about this photograph which doesn't seem right. I put my finger on it. What? Grant the defense a final opportunity. Be warned that if I'm not satisfied with your response here, the trial will be over immediately after the effect. Do I make myself clear? Your Excellency, check out another photograph print, Inspector. I was going to submit it before. What is that? Look at this here. A very usual mark on the victim's wrist. That is true. It looks almost like a burn of some description. Dear me, I was wondering what a new people you would come out with a burnout, you say, on the victim's wrist. Clearly, that has nothing whatsoever to do with a magnificent lady's handbag. Yes, that is a birthmark, you're right. Go on, Inspector. The police considered as noted when it was performing the postmodern crimes division. It tended to be unrelated to the cause of death, so he didn't note it in a report. What did I tell you? That means we have no idea when the victim suffered burn, do we? And no possible way of knowing either. The more I look at it, the more I found myself intrigued by the curious shape of this mark. However, the prosecutor
Itachi points out, useless firm connection that case can be shown. Cannot allow any further spent on the of this burn.
Excuse me, Your Excellency. It would seem Miss Buri has a lunch appointment with the Dean and the other university staff. She would like to know if she may be excused from the stand now. Oh, of course, dear lady. We won't want to hold you any longer. I'm quite sure His Excellency is about to give his final ruling anyway. What are you thinking of this, Ryunosuke? Do you believe this burn has something to do with this case? To be honest, I'm not really sure. But if I don't keep pushing, then it's all over. So I was thinking I should keep digging and digging, and I hope I might uncover something useful. Alright, yes, you're right. I am? If we can just link that burn to the case, if we can do that, we might be able to freeze the shutting door back open again. Just give up, Kanzo. You can't to do that.
Indeed, I'm afraid without evidence, I cannot allow you to pursue what little more than conjecture.
But if we had evidence is a really link to the burn on the victim's wrist to the case, then you would allow it?
I would, yes.
Tell the truth, I haven't noticed that burn. But as soon as you pointed it out, I did notice that the color what was the color draining from Miss Brett's face? Really? There's a link between that burn and the case. This is the moment of truth. There's some evidence that proves what that burn really means.
So then, the defense will now present the evidence to the court.
Let's try it. Hide. Maybe something on this report card. What if on this photo I found it? Oh, no way. Oh, I see it. I got you. Leroy Jenkins! Leroy! Did I just really say Leroy Jenkins? I found it. Leroy Jenkins!
What's this? And just another print?
Your Excellency, I believe this photograph of prints are an amazing intervention. See, we humans look at the scene, but we miss things. But in a photographic things may have overlooked at the time record furthermore. Oh, do hurry up, Rookie. What are you trying to say? To inconvenience the poor lady and any further would really be quite excusable. Actually, we may need you to stay with us a little longer if you don't mind, Miss Bree. You see, it's very clearly visible on this other photograph. How did the victim come to usually shaped burnt on his wrist? The reason record furthermore. How? You can't fool me with your little bluffs, boy. But is that your game? Let's see how this plays out. Show the court exactly what you meant. This photograph explains the reason for the victim's burn. Yeah, it's the shape of a bull. And the only thing that's in the shape of a bull is... It's the skillet. Yes! the beefsteak. No, you idiot. Actually, the metal point is the metal plate the steak was served on. Old dumbass. The plate, huh? Your Excellency, are you alright? You can see there's an emblem on the plate. I would guess it's some sort of trademark for Le Carnival. The emblem on the plate. The victim's burn. They are the exactly same shape. Rinosuke, you're a genius. You're spot on. Which means the victim must have suffered the burn while he was present at the restaurant. But even if that's the case, we can't know if it happened on the day in question or not. It could have been the day before. The day before that, it's most likely happened at some other unrelated time. Well, Objection! Sadly, Prosecutor Achi, the chances of that are extremely slim. Thanks. Why? The outline of the burn is clearly discernible. Such a serious injury would have caused quite a commotion in the restaurant. Wouldn't you agree, Inspector Asgana? Can't imagine having missed such a terrible disaster, certainly. But... How would you say, looking at the picture in the wound, that it wasn't suffered very long ago? Although it's not particularly large burn, it's extremely well defined, as the defense just pointed out. There is no mild burn, that's for sure. Can you be more specific, Inspector? Well, let's see. If the plate was around 19 degrees, Constantine, burn like that would have taken around 3 seconds. It's inconceivable that the victim wouldn't have let out a scream of pain then. I've been investigating at the restaurant for several weeks already, and I have not heard anyone scream at all. As the head waiter of Le Carnival, I can testify to that without hesitation. But you're a detective, not a waiter! Yes! Then something isn't right here. As the detective said, anyone who burnt themselves on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds would scream in pain. There's no question of that. And yet, Inspector Asgana never heard the professor scream, not on that day or any before it. That's right. And the strange thing is, on the day he was shot, I didn't hear him cry out either. What are you suggesting? Well, if the professor had carelessly laid his wrist on the plate for anything than 3 seconds that day, then that would be beyond careless, I think, Counsel. Then the rest of the restaurant, myself and the sergeant and the old antiques dealer, all of us, without a question, would have heard him scream. Wouldn't you agree, Professor Achi?
Yes, I suppose.
So the question is, why didn't a single person hear Dr. Wilson scream? I almost believe it. Ryunosuke, do you think... Can it really be true? I never dreamt... at the conclusion like this, though. But I'm starting to think that maybe... we've been led into a terrible trap. There's only one explanation I can think that makes sense, apparently, in this possibility. Not being questioned. When he suffered the burn to his wrist, Dr. Wilson... No man could be silent for while his wrist was burning in a piping hot place for 3 whole seconds. That was clearly impossible, apart from one in particular situation.
Consul, are you suggesting...
Yes. It's only possible that the man was already dead.
Already? Dead?
Knowing what we know now, the only possible explanation is... when the beefsteak was brought to Dr. Wilson's table that day, the professor was already dead.
That's madness! Order, please, Consul! Explain this absurd notion at once! The victim was killed by a gunshot!
That's right. Absolutely right, Your Excellency. But this is just another ridiculous ploy by the rookie student, but clearly he has no grasp of the facts. No, Prosecutor Archie, it is you who has no grasp of the facts.
Beg your pardon?
As soon as it became apparent the victim had suffered a burn while in the restaurant, this whole case is turned upside down. No, not guess that yet. Your Excellency, this court must hear from the witness again. If it's true, we now believe the victim was already dead before the gunshot was heard. It's highly likely that Miss Breet knows something about it.
Incredible! I certainly did not anticipate this twist of events. I'm sorry to say, Miss Breet, that you will have to forget your London engagement.
But, Your Excellency, the justice system in our country may be in its infancy, but rest assured, all reasonable doubt must be dispelled before I am prepared to pass judgment. Thank you, Your Excellency. What was that smile? Of course. I mean... I mean, I'd be indulged to help. Especially if it means the relations between my country and yours. What?
She spoke English!
Ow! My ear.
Miss Breet, you speak Japanese.
Well, of course I do. I am studying in your country. How do you speak British? Let's see. Oi, mate. I don't go. Well, of course I do. I am studying in your country, after all.
But then why have you been speaking through an interpreter until now?
My mother tongue, the Queen English, is the most refined, elegant language in the world. As a gentleman, I try to avoid speaking in your vulgar tones as much as possible. But it seems that this man and this land have none of the activities or fortunes of an English gentleman. So, I can see that I shall loan myself to communicating with all of you on your own level.
Well,
You're the epitome of a true Englishwoman. We are truly honored by this lavish consideration your gracefully can afford us.
I see. In this case, Miss Breed, I will not ask you to testify in your own words about the events leading up to the death of the victim, Dr. Wilson.
So, we're finally in our own words of the matter. Things are getting interesting, Ryunosuke. Okay. Alright, lady. Let's rock in the fish and chips. And let's see if we can track your true colors. Cheerio. Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man burnt his wrist like that. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast. As far as I've heard, the postmodern reports show no other possible cause of death besides the gunshot. If there was some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please do show me. But of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably wouldn't pick it up anyway. Whittle, if you're still there, if I get stuck on something, if I need your opinion on anything, I might need to ask you.
The most captivating, beautiful testimony to the Supreme Court's history. Thank you.
Easy does it. I hope that's not the last time I will have to surly my lips with a chorus of your tones and embarrassing tongue. Oh, forgive me. Oh, forgive me. I do hope I haven't insulted anyone.
No, not at all. It's a delight merely to hear you speak, my dear lady. It seems very clear from your testimony. In this boorish talk, the victim's burn is utterly irrelevant.
I'll be speaking here to a country's Minister of Justice about what's happened here today.
The Minister of Justice?
May that really little bully of a student be given the harshest punishment as possible. Thanks. Was that a prayer then? Well, you have to forgive the irritation, Miss Breed, but put that up with a cross-examination for now. I expect you notice this little bully of a student, as you put, doesn't miss much.
I'm sure I don't need to remind you, counsel, that this will be your final cross-examination in this trial. If you fail to demonstrate any problems with this witness testimony, I will be ruling the case immediately. Is that clear?
Yes, Your Excellency.
You may proceed with the cross-examination.
Let's dance. Unfortunately, I have no idea when the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses to our toast. Yes! And you testified this before. You were drinking carbonated water, is that right?
It wasn't permitted to drink water at the time, if you remember, which explains why he ordered the drink, correct, waiter?
Although whether or not the professor actually drank any of the water, I delivered the steak to the table. I'm afraid I don't remember that after all. Damn you.
Have enough. Please, bless you.
Anyway. Modern. Okay, yes. They're in here, the paperwork. The fatal hemorrhage from the ballistic trauma. Yes.
Lucky for all of us, a little burn on the wrist isn't going to kill us. There was no other sense of trauma on the victim's body to indicate some other cause of death. Coming from the bullet. Doesn't make any sense. The burn must have happened straight away when the plate was first brought to the table by the waiter. Yes, that's true. But it had been slightly, it wouldn't have been able to make that burn like that. The victim burned his wrist on the hot plate soon as brought from the kitchen. He must have already been dead at that point. Yet the fact the victim was killed by a gunshot to the chest, unable to the evidence to disprove that. Keep pressing, I think, for now. There's an... Wait a minute. Ah! No, I didn't... Oh. The more she says, the more she's likely to give it away. What are you thinking? Oh, don't worry. It's nothing. So just keep cross-examining her, I guess. The waiter brought my steak and the But the hand was on hot plate for at least 3 solid seconds. You couldn't have noticed. Do you think so? Let me ask you something. Sorry. Ever since I arrived in this courtroom, isn't even still now. Can you? Are you trying? Why can't I? When the waiter brought my steak, raised her glasses for a toast. Without leaving a trace. If someone was shot, the trigger was stabbed. But maybe there's some other way of killing someone that doesn't leave a mark. I got an idea. You guys just gave me an idea. Go back to, I got an idea. Okay, here's how I'm gonna go ahead and... I know! I got the evidence. Don't worry, I got it. Alright, I think I know where I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go back. Nope. Back here. Alright. Gosh darn it! As far as I can tell, there's... Okay. Okay, hold on. I think I may have did this wrong. Hold on. Alright.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay. Okay. You may have to save this for a minute. Just for a minute, in case I really mess up. I think I got an idea how he was killed. I can't press on anything, and so the only thing I can think of. This country, this is this game. What evidence may be lost? Does that occur to you? It's actually admitting to the... Still, the thing something about for the moment before when she said something to do it seems quite right. What do you think, Greenowski? Well, if you guess, as I suspected, she's a tough witness. We need to find a way to break her testimony by process information. That would mean I have to find a way. There must be some clue somewhere I can... Kazuma? What, Ryunosuke? Is it... There's something... One thing I noticed, something that's been bothering me. Bothering you? What do you mean? A Miss Breed? Actually, no. About the person sitting next to her. Inspector Hasgana. The detective. Yes, he seemed to be reacting a little strangely to Miss Breed's last statement. Although it might have been significant, it might have been a present opening, maybe. Okay. Alright, I have an idea. Try pressing around that last statement one more time. Instead of targeting the woman herself, let's see if we can get at the detective. Alright, then I wonder what was put on our last statement again. Press on her again. Yes! In the lands of the British Empire, the police store everything found at the crime scene for later examination. You investigate once, and that's the end of it. Isn't that so? Exactly. Because even an investigation takes a different description. Vital evidence may be lost. Vital evidence. What does she mean by vital evidence? Exactly. Which means even if the investigation takes a different direction, vital evidence may be lost. I don't know. Vital evidence. I don't know what to do. Yes, there it is again. The detective's reaction just the same as before. Why? Up until now, the detective has been staying with Miss Breeze as her interpreter. His testimony, the detective is just listening to what... It could be a golden opportunity. What do you mean? When people are actually testifying, they're usually very careful not to let anything slip. However, listening to someone else speak, you'll find and let their guard down. Look at him. His own thoughts. It's time to pursue the man in his train of thought. Wait, sorry, pursue? Explain how to do it now, Ryunosuke. I'll tell you to do the witness marker. Wait, marker? The moment we're focused on Miss Bree, who is the person actually making a current statement. By moving the marker left to right, you can turn the attention to the other people in the stand. You're looking at the other witness. Try to pursue with the X button. If you can catch that person at the right time, you might uncover something to pursue. Amongst the people in the stand, take a good look around. Alright then. First, I should move the marker across with the right or left. To pursue, then press with the X button. On his mind. Here we go. Which means
Excuse me!
Ah! What the? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to shock you. He was really lost in his thoughts deeply. It looked like you were thinking of something just now, Inspector. Perhaps, having heard the lady next to you what she had to say? If there's something you'd like to say, please, share it with the court. What's the meaning of this? It's a delightful English woman who's testifying at the moment. If you can find a fault with her testimony, then cross-examine her and be over immediately. Oh, sorry, it's just how it works. Absolutely not. The detective is in the stand, which makes him a valid witness. Yes, not to mention the fact that he's intimately involved in the case. Inspector Hasgana? Something you'd like to add in relation to the statement that was just made by Miss Bree? Well, yes. If you don't mind, I would like to speak. The lady is right. Our country's police practices are not as modern as they used to be in Great Britain, which is why I, Satoru Hasgana, always tried to strive to make the investigation I'm involved in flawless. So what do you really mean by that? I'll tell you what I mean. I won't have evidence lacking on my watch, but I'm not afraid to take everything I can from the scene of the crime. It's pursuing evidence, you see. I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief. I'm not ashamed of what I have done. A crime scene thief? Well, it looks like the lady remarks touched a nerve there. Take this for an example. Is that a bottle of carbonated water that I took from the victim's table on the day in question? And yes, all of its fizz have been open for 3 days now. But it was carbonated, Carter. But I don't care what anyone else says. There's some left in the bottle. I can see it. One day, our police force will be among the best in the world. The time's coming, I guarantee it. I can't say I condone the witness's actions, but I do understand the statement. As evidence. Wait a minute. We need to look inside that. Miss Bree? Wait. Can I see this bottle real quick? Hold on a second. We need to see what's inside the bottle. I'm a gin in a bottle. It was written in I don't recognize it. Do you know what it says, Kazuma? I think it's French. Must be very expensive water, yes. What does it say, though? That's what I'm asking. Then go to France and ask. You could just say you don't know. You could just say, Alright. Of course. Oh my god. It was the corkscrew. Miss Bree, can you confirm this is indeed the bottle from which you drank the day of the victim's death? Yes, it was that bottle. There was a bottle. What was that all about? She seems to avert with her eyes. Very well, Consul. May resume the cross-examination. Josephus Fervor. Unfortunately, I have no idea where the phone number is, like that. Wait a minute. I think I got you now, lady.
Yes!
Yes!
What's this? Bottle of water!
Actually, there is some method of killing a man without leaving a trace which comes to mind. It's obviously I'm referring to the poison.
Poison?
One, on the day of his death, we know that Dr. Wilson drank from the bottle of carbonated water. Could it be that there was poison inside? Could it be that the professor actually died after taking a sip from his glass?
Order, order, order!
On that day, who was sitting at the same table as the professor and in his drink? Only one person who could have possibly done it. Giselle Brett. It was you.
This is outrageous to suggest a thing without a scrap of evidence. You little rookie imbecile. How could you consider the delicate situation our country stands to find itself in? Have you forgotten that we have just signed an accord friendship with the British Empire? Have you forgotten the biggest thing about linking the rash accusations could jeopardize?
This is not a political arena. This is a trial to determine one individual's guilt to respect to one crime. The fact that this woman's British makes no difference. We are here to determine the truth. If I may,
I will silence you forever for this.
It is you who should be silent.
Dear lady.
Where'd that come from? She snapped. I'm afraid I've spoken unfairly before. I offer my humble apologies.
Sorry, my lady, what are you referring?
I described your police as inferior, but no matter how inferior that may be, you still investigated this particular point thoroughly, I believe. This bottle, I mean, Inspector, whether it contained poison or not. Of course, you did. Have you forgotten my guiding principles already? I strive flawless investigation every time. I don't believe it. Naturally, we tested the inside of the bottle of its contents. And? What'd you find, Inspector? I heard the test of every toxin available in the country present at the time. But no trace or description of carbonated... What? Are you sure? The test has been out by the chief coroner himself. No, no! Don't give up, Ryunosuke! I'm very grateful to have... I'm very grateful to all you Japanese. But you've successfully established my complete innocence in this horrid affair. Thank you. Well, of course, dear lady, that's a pleasure was all ours. I was so sure. This can't be right. Everything falls into place if he was poisoned. Maybe the cause of it clarified everything. Prosecution have arrested a shot to the chest from this gun, and it is the only conceivable cause of death. Furthermore, the accused who was on administration was holding this weapon is the only possible culprit. I'm done for. Don't! You have one more piece of evidence. Gotta be sure. Gotta be sure. The trace of poison in him. No, I was just glad the matter was resolved. Before proceeding, I must ask a counsel for the defense. Do you have any further new evidence to present the court at this point? Yes! One person holds the key. Kazuma. I'm sorry, Ryunosuke. I have nothing more. Well, if you don't excuse me now, I really must be leaving. Don't you dare, no. Please, wait. Isn't that... What's the meaning of this? Forgive me for intruding on the court's proceedings, Your Excellency. Sasudo Makoto, due sole assistant to the defense. Makotoba? With nowhere left to go, she appeared like a bolt of lightning. And in her hand, she carried a small package wrapped in fukishi cloth. Oh gosh, this taste is gonna get freaking wild! Man. Second November, 1:14 p.m. Supreme Court. Well, I understand you are the judicial assistant to the defense, but why is this sudden ingress in my courtroom? Judicial assistant and a woman, no less. The rules state that not permitted into the court of law or any other to testify. Yes, I fully understand. I only asked for 5 minutes of time. Some vital evidence that I must hand over to the defense. You're running late, little girl. This trial has already been concluded. 5 minutes! I will not allow a moment more! But, Your Excellency, I am most grateful. Who exactly are you? Oh, I'm sorry. There's no time. Please accept this for now. What is it? A report about something? Written in English. It's Shizabelle's research. The Englishwoman's? After the trial resumed earlier, I hurried back to the university. I went to Dr. Wilson's laboratory in the medical facility, borrowed this paper. Yes? Oh yes, that's right. Miss Breitz was studying under the professor, wasn't she? So, does this research or whatever it is have something to do with the case? I'm afraid I don't know. But I haven't been able to listen to proceedings of the trial myself. Of course not. special characteristics of the effects on human subjects. Interesting. Cure? What's that? Never heard of it before.
Time's up. The prosecution demands the removal of its female trespassers from the courtroom.
There was little time to read it in detail, but I summarized what I could in the note inside the cover. But if you think it could be valuable, please cast your eye over it. This is wonderful. Thank you. Goodbye then, and good luck. Yeah, let me read that real quick. Okay, so, hypnosis. From certain bark trees in the jungles of South Africa, the hunters' region have used it in ancient times to capture prey. Effects. Holy crap! This was used to make poison! When the time is right. That was used to make poison. Oh, I got you now. Good luck. It was used to make poison. I just read it. It was used to make poison. So we cannot detain our English guest any longer. That's the prosecution of the defense. Now, one last time. As I decide to have any further evidence to present to the court. I presume not, but...
The prosecution has made convincingly enough already. Nothing more to add, Your Excellency.
Ryunosuke, we're running out of options here. Our last chance. Yes. Yes, I know. Your Excellency, the defense does have new evidence.
That look! The underruling state of a true Japanese warrior. Well then, Miss Breed.
Yes, Your Excellency?
If you wouldn't mind, perhaps you could grace us with your presence a little longer.
A delightful invitation, but I'm afraid it's not very long until tea time. I politely to decline.
Forgive me, Miss Breed, but it seems I wasn't clear. I realize it was a phrase question. However, I must ask you to treat that as an order.
As I said many times before, but the Japanese language makes no sense.
My apologies, dear lady. So, Consul, what's this new evidence that demands the court's attention?
Miss Isabel Brett, you were studying under Dr. Wilson at the Yuma University during your research? Welcome back, Whittle. Research, by sheer coincidence perhaps, into a deadly poison?
What?
Poison? Where are you going with this, Counsel?
A toxin known as Curare, Your Excellency. Even the slightest amount of deadly poison entering the body leads to instant death.
What complete and utter nonsense! Curare, you say? I've never even heard of it.
You wouldn't have done.
What do you mean?
I mean, you wouldn't have heard the Curare before one very simple reason. It doesn't exist in our country.
It doesn't exist?
Correct. Which means, no matter what the test the police can do for toxins, they never identified the Curare. Why? Because there is no test available here that can identify the presence of a highly deadly poison. Order! Consul, does this deadly poison truly exist? According to the report authorized by the visiting research student from England, cure has been long used by the troublesome people of South America and as a poison laced into their arrows. It seems that it's reasonably well known among European doctors and scientists. To the lace of their arrows? The report states that it is produced from the extract of a tree that grows deep in the Amazonian jungle. And it was first brought back to Europe at the turn of the century by explorers. It claims that animals shot by arrows laced with Kira suffer an instant death. Doesn't about sum it up, Miss Bree?
Trumpery, these aspirations are utter trumpery. To start with, if the victim had been administered with some of this so-called deadly poison, he would have been squirming and rattling with pain, and the other diners would have surely noticed.
That's true. What do you say to that, Inspector?
Obviously, I would have noticed a disturbance like that. I don't remember anything like that either. I don't notice the professor being in any kind of pain. According to this, however, it's the other way around.
What do you mean, the other way around?
It's the very fact the victim didn't show any visible signs of distress is the evidence a cure was used. At the moment the toxin enters a person's system, it causes instant paralysis. In other words, the affected victims lose all strength and are completely unable to move. Even if they were in total agony, there would be no visible signs of pain at all.
How terrible!
Obviously, if a man loses all that strength in his muscles, he'd be collapsed on the floor. But with a chair underneath him for support, Dr. Wilson did the effects could go accordingly unnoticed. But I don't follow, Kazuma. That's just paralysis. I thought the poison would cause instant death. The full explanation is extremely unpleasant. The poison causes immediate paralysis, as I said, leaving the victim unable to move. But after a short time, the paralysis is so severe it causes the muscles to control respiration to fail. Respiration? And the actual cause of death is suffocation. And all the while, the victim is conscious and as a whale, they're just unable to move.
But that's hideous.
To the observer, it would look like almost the victim was slipping peacefully into his endless sleep. For the victim himself, for his final moments, would be a living hell. That's just the true nature of this deadly cure poison. And you're suggesting that this bottle console actually contains the terrifying poison?
This is very convenient, isn't it? Here's a Haustaro unknown poison for which means of testing. What a happy tale for the defense.
If I may.
All these facts you think are so clever.
It's you who must be taught. Of course.
Oh, dear lady.
So, this is how you Japanese behave, is it? You steal another honest heart's work and then announce the results as if you discovered them. I'm applaud. What a loathsome act. Miss Breed, the feeling is mutual. But what do you mean? Capitalizing the unfortunate circumstances of an innocent man to frame him as a heinous crime? That's really a loathsome act. Wouldn't you agree?
Enough of this! I, for one, refuse to accept it! The idea of some poison that doesn't even exist in the great Empire of Japan is breaking the rules!
What's so funny? Oh, excuse me, Your Excellency. Yes, Miss Breed? The ball for peace.
Well, yes, if you don't. Or not. Sorry. I think there's one such as myself. The whole affair is a farcical comedy. Your little police games and these foolish courtroom antics is languageable, really. But I'm getting bored of it now. It's time for the games to end. Cheers. Don't you do it, don't you do it, don't you do it. What are you doing? No sparkle after all. How appropriate for the shabby affair. No way she just drank that. Goodness! Whatever is the matter? You look so quite stunned. So, no cure for her. The bottle was clean, so that's what you're saying? You look quite ridiculous, little boy. But of course, it's the simple truth. If you're presenting your findings from my research conceivably here in the Grand Veneer, most kind. Give water now then, Your Excellency. Oh, yes, Miss Bree. Please. Oh, yes, dear lady. What are the most gratified with all the assistance you have given? What if it's not in the bottle? What if it's in the... What if she put in the glass first? This doesn't make any sense. That'd have been poison in that bottle. So how did she... Oh, glass to tell the tale. Well, I don't understand it. We'll make an interesting conversation for the next party I attend in London. There has to be poison in that bottle, isn't there? But they can't have been, because otherwise she would have kneeled over dead. Come on here, Nosuke. We have some clues now. That bottle of water. Contains no poison. That bottle of water doesn't contain no poison. As I thought, there's no poison in that bottle. What? Why? Why, Ryunosuke? Isn't it obvious? There's another poison. If there was another poison, she'd be dead by now. Sometimes you're unruly nativity, that sounds me. Sometimes it's in need of a staining until it has darkens your uniform in the world. Is that what this color is supposed to be about to represent? So it was a guiltiness ending a promising line. Wait a minute. Okay, we got some clues now. That bottle. Put poison in the carbonated water, but the defense rules out change of position. You're serious? Fool, are you blind? There's no possible way that bottle could contain poison. I mean, what we just saw. Miss Brett's drinking the water. Miss Brett's drinking the water from it. That's right. Which rather the complication can't be explained. How exactly? You need to think this through, all the things that don't quite add up here, one by one. I'm sure the answer of the evidence that we have in the courtroom somewhere has to be. Very well. The first true answer resort to claim. Let's ask you to support the assertion with your evidence. What if the witness was able to consume the poisoned water? How was she able to consume it? How was she able to consume it?
There's gotta be something I... Wait a minute. Obviously, we can't... Damn it, what the fuck do I need? Explains how the winds can consume the water unscathed. Unscathed. Freak, I don't know, how do I... Wait a minute, print. Alright. Okay, Chris, you got this, man. How was she able to drink it unscathed? Nice. I got two more chances. Okay. Alright. Really nice to find the answer that fits the facts. Gosh darn it. Wait a minute. I'm gonna find... Alright. Yes! The answer is to this riddle. It's right here in Miss Redtail's research report. Is that a bad explanation? No. After all, we don't speak English, so of course utter gibberish. The Emperor's Canto is trying to ridicule it. I'm not trying to ridicule anyone, honest. Just trying to read Sato-san's notes. I concur. This report is too extensive to be considered entirely to the court. The direct location section of the console reveals the alleged answer to this riddle. Okay. Alright, hold on a second. Let me read this real quick. Okay. Practical applications can't be practical. It can't be because here's the part that bothers me. If it's this or this, you're talking about physical effects. So it has to be practical applications because there's a certain way to inject it and not inject it. So it has to be that. That's written right here. The practical applications, I think. You think? Oh, really? Go on. Well, think about it. You want to know the poison can be drunk without taking an effect. The practical application, the poison's used as a drink, maybe. God damn it. I got one more. If I screw this up, I screw this up. Okay, and what? Read properly, okay. Okay. So the character exists. We've been hearing a lot about this Kira poison. And it left me curious about something. Consul? Well, it sounds as though indigenous hunters have been using this poison for years and years to lace the labels of the arrows they shoot wherever they're hunting. So we've been led to believe, yes. And the point of hunting is to catch prey to eat.
Get to the point, please.
But if they were to use these laced arrows, does it mean they would be traces of poison left in the prey of hunters they were going to eat? Yes, good point. So surely the hunters wouldn't want to eat their prey, would they? Because they would be eating poison.
Good gracious, Consul. Now that would be madness.
I actually found the answer to the conundrum. Research paper here. The special characteristics, it says this. The poison starts to work after entering the victim's body through a wound.
Through a wound, you say, I see. Makes sense.
Yes, mentioning the fact that the particular detail of this seemed a little strange to me, though.
But still makes sense when you interpret what's written like this.
When Kira enters the body through an open wound, it has terrifying poisoning effects. However, when it enters the body through the vile mouth, it has no poison effects whatsoever.
What?
Miss Brate, you authorized this research and you knew the Kira's special characteristics. You knew that you could make a spectacle of drinking that water without any danger to yourself. You meddling little
rapscallion!
Wait a minute, that pelican on our head was real? So it turns out. You're an even better lawyer than I thought you'd be. Really? Me? A lawyer?
The poison talk is fascinating, I'm sure, but I'm there to see how...
So, this little bird puppy is a new toy to play with some facts he read in his book. I'm afraid knowledge doesn't suit you, little boy. It'll make you look silly. So what are you trying to say? You're a schoolish boy, a logic fatal flaw. Schoolboyish flaw. Your brain was managed to deduce that Kira is self in jest. It's likely that the effects are neutralized by the nature of it. Yes, well, of course. Gastric suckers, what are they? So, if the lethal poison is completely harmless when drunk, the professor wouldn't have died when he swallowed.
Goodness gracious.
Basic science. Even that schoolboy should understand that too.
Order! The logic holds if the lady and the professor drank the same poison, they would be affected the same way.
Are you trying to suggest?
Yes, the Kira poison is completely irrelevant to the case of the trial.
That's right. Surely even a little cockroach like you could understand something simple as that. What is this wheeling wound inside me? I've never felt like this before. Some sort of conviction breakdown discrepancy so intense, almost rage feel like, and nothing more else inside. It's an animalistic desire to take down my prey.
I don't think so, mischievous breed. How dare you take that tone with me? You know very well there's a fatal flaw here.
You know exactly why even both you and the victim swallowed the same poison. You're alive, Dr. Wilson. You are alive, but Dr. Wilson is dead. I need to remind you, you must provide the cooling evidence. We know now the poison is completely harmless when ingested. So why would Dr. Wilson have been killed by this same Kira? Please don't fail, please don't fail, please don't fail. There's only one. He would have to eat it though, wouldn't he? Yeah. Ingested. Ingested. I gotta think about what he just said. Not ingested. Alright, gosh, alright. Let's see what we got. Gunshot, damn it, what the fuck do I do? Photograph the victim. Did not pass through the victim's body. Trying to think, how would he have injected it though? Doesn't make any sense. No, this doesn't tell me anything. Miss Spirits repeatedly pointed out she drank the same water as the professor. However, there was a fundamental fatal difference between the two diners. A fatal difference? The toxic effects of the cure are only left when the poison enters the body through the open wound. So for a healthy person with no injuries drinking the water is completely harmless. But if there was a wound inside the mouth from a person drinking the poison water, yes, like the wound you might have if you just been to the dentist and had a tooth extracted, for example. Oh! Miss Bree, you had acknowledged many times in your testimony already that you were well aware of Dr. Wilson's dental appointment that day. So that's it. You used that knowledge and orchestrated this? Is she? I don't like to repeat myself, but honestly I can't resist. The childish courtroom games, your half-baked arguments are all so puerile. What do you mean? Don't worry, little schoolboy. You'll find out soon enough. You see, when you leave the vital evidence lying around, you never know what might happen to it. No! It just slip. Oh dear, how careless of me. I'm afraid some crucial evidence may have just been tragically destroyed. No! What is it? What just happened? Is the English woman, she just smashed the bottle? In the Supreme Court, what a terrible blunder. Oh, officer, what are you waiting for? Collect this as much as a mug of water sample as once. You're wasting your time. The delightful carpet under my feet was a gift from the British Empire. I assure you it will soak up the water beautifully. You have neither the technology nor the presence mind to recover it. How could you? You won't get away with this! You can thump on the bench as much as you like, little boy. Well, I'm afraid we'll never know now, will we, if there's really poison in that bottle or not. Now let us forget. We still have some very compelling evidence left intact. Isn't that right, counsel for the prosecution?
Oh, of course, of course. You're referring to this photographic print, I presume, dear lady. That's right. Really looking at this photograph is...
The professor was sitting with his back to me. Of course, the only person who could have shot him was from the front, little schoolboy. No, you killed the victim that day using Kira. Then, in order to frame Ryunosuke Nato for the crime, you waited until he picked up the pistol and you arranged for him to find the door. Before you shot the professor's dead body in the chest with your own hidden gun. Then the confusion that followed, all you had to do was turn the dead professor around. You see, you had every opportunity to commit this crime. What a wonderful imagination you have, young man. A hidden gun, you say? I shot the professor's dead body, did I? Well then, terribly sorry, but you don't have a shred of evidence.
Exactly. If you have nothing to support your wild claims, the prosecution stands unchanged. The victim, John H. Wilson, was killed by a gunshot to the chest.
Deliver Koba and the accused Ryunosuke Nato. It's unbelievable. How could this be happening? We had her, but now is she really going to get away with it? That's why she destroyed the evidence of the crime scene? Ryunosuke, yes, we have come this far. Oh, crap. Damn. Oh, that hurt like crazy. Sitting on my chair. Look at this. You're the only one that can finish it. What do you mean? We lost a vital piece of evidence, it's true, but there are many clues left out until now. That must be in your hand, in your head, my head. You told me before, your powers of observation, one thing you deeply drilled upon. Yes, that's true, but I did manage to notice that this woman was a foreigner with a swan on her head. Think back now. Try to remember every last detail of the scene that day. Everything you saw, everything you felt, every color, every smell. What I saw was that I felt every color. Oh, snap. There was... It's Cosmo, right? Somewhere in the vibrant memory, through the crime in my head. Could there be another clue to expose the identity? Maybe something thinking back what I saw. I think I might covered the clue. You're always something up your sleeve, don't you, Ryunosuke? Come on then, let's swipe off that smoke up facing words with some evidence. Alright, I can wait. It's been niggling me for a while, but it feels like I missed some memories that day. Whatever it comes, the key to the truth about all this. Somewhere the clue shows that there was no problem. Inspector Asuka, answer me this! Yes, what is it? He's still miles away, probably thinking about bottle being smashed. Anyways, as you said a number of times now, you strive for perfection in your investigations, don't you? I wonder, therefore, perhaps you took anything else from the scene of the crime? Like, for instance, the plate of steak, right? Like the victim's, the plate of steak you took from the victim's table that day.
Wait a minute, where are you going?
Where are you going with this, little boy? It's just a memory that's been troubling me. What memory? I saw the scene shown in this photographic print with my own eyes that day. And I saw the wooden base of the plate that the steak was served on was a splattering of blood.
What?
Oh, really? And what of it? Obviously, it must have happened when you shot the professor. No, that can't be the case. Take a good look at the photograph and the relative position of everything here. The plate of steak is almost directly behind the victim. And if I'm supposed to have shot Dr. Wilson from the chest from the front, there's no way that blood from the victim could have ended up directly behind him. Yes, the first blood would have made it onto the plate, which implies the plate would have been between the victim and the shooter, which means the shooter must have been sitting on the opposite of the professor as you were. Jeez, a Brit.
Oh, beg your pardon? This is beyond ridiculous. Fabricated nonsense. Is the court seriously expected to believe something that accused has apparently remembered seeing?
This could be the moment that my entire career of the police force leading to. Inspector, you mean? Yes. I took the plate from the entrance of preserving evidence from the scene of the crime. I took the meat and all, and I don't care if they call me a crime thief because of it.
You did what?
I took the steak you had been eating, Miss Bree, and took the steak and the sergeant had been eating. And it is all in the name of justice. Then we can find out for sure whether or not there is a blood stain on Miss Breed's plate. We must examine it now.
Inspector! The court wishes to examine the plate from the victim's table immediately.
Yes, sir. Sorry for the delay. Here's what you ordered. The steak. Well, what about the blood? Is there blood on it?
Of course there isn't.
Inspector, the blood, man, show the court. Of course. Examine the plate at your leisure. No blood. No blood anywhere. But, no, that's impossible! I know I saw it, I'm sure of it. It was right there on the table behind the professor, on the other side of the plate. What a expression, little boy. That's why I always say you can't trust the Japanese, I tell you. Ugh.
I can't agree more in this case of disgrace to the Empire.
I believe we may have finally reached a conclusion to this trial. Well, let's hope so. Let's just pretend the attempt of the court proceedings is painful to watch. But I do promise to do my best to forget about it when it's all over.
Sorry for looking at the steak reveals the facts so clearly. If the sorry-looking accused wishes to examine it again, be my guest.
No, it wasn't. Give me that plate. Huh? Oh, what was this? I think it's a kobo coin. Oh my god.
No.
Wait, what did you say it was? Wait a minute. This isn't her plate at all. This isn't her plate at all. This isn't her. That's because this isn't your plate at all. Would make it really quite valuable. No, but the next time order. This isn't her plate at all. You know, Skate, it's not over yet. Not until the final gravel. Never stop believing in yourself. Keep looking forward no matter what. Believe in myself. Really? Maybe I already did. I just... Puts a trial for me. Yes, I just... Another clue. That clue reveals a shocking truth. Anything shocking here is in your health. Your Excellency, I think I made myself clear, haven't I? I will not be able to turn a blind any more necessary prosecution of this trial. I'm sorry, Miss Breed, but we must ensure that thorough examination of the evidence. Well, I see. So a position, isn't it? Thank you, Your Excellency. Okay. Yeah, see what I'm saying? I already read this part. Come on, dude. I already read this part. It's that coin that one dude was looking for earlier. And we know for a fact that this is not her plate. This means this wasn't her plate. This means this is not your plate. I can tell you this is not. I can tell you for a fact that this is not her plate. That's not her plate, dude.
Good gracious, that's...
a carbine?
What on earth? Heroin. At that? Miss Bree, this is in fact the beefsteak you ordered at the restaurant the day question, is it? Tell me, why is there an odd coin seemingly hidden underneath the meat? What a ridiculous question. How should I know? I've never seen that thing before in my life. I don't know what it is. I don't want no part of it. Of course you don't know what it is. I fail to see this as irrelevant according to the meat. I mean, this could simply be a careless mistake of the chief of the... Don't be absurd. We're supposed to believe that this happened by an accident in the kitchen. A rare hubbub coin. This just seems to be hidden underneath a piece of steak. If this is true, it ought to be an irrelevant case. I'll rip up my ticket to Great Britain right now. He's right, I can't believe it's coincidence. Let's see. Yes, Consul? Your hobo coin just appeared underneath that piece of steak. If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll give up my lawyer job right now.
I'm still gonna stop you. No one invited you anyway.
Perhaps, little boy, you should realize that you is who's irrelevant. Enough, I'm the one on trial here. The point is, this is essential that we know the owner of this coin, and he can explain what's doing under the stake. The owner? Yes, I already know who the owner is. The owner of the cobalt coin who's underneath the beefsteak is... Obviously, it can only be the antique stealer of Rusty Tai, Kiru Koda-san. Kiru? As in Mr. Cucumber or something? Honestly, that's ridiculous. Japanese names are quite unformidable.
Oh, yes. The old man who testified earlier alongside that military sergeant, correct?
Yes, Your Excellency. I remember him saying that he was up to something with his cobalt coin when it happened, and at exactly the moment the gun when he fired. Gunshot was interested me not, so I was far too busy being on the floor. Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing? Hunting for the treasure. Indeed, the Jose Koyakomagram, my prize coin!
Then the Sobakura coin, do you mean to tell me?
No, please, why would the kiss a Karakuban be sandwiched between the victim's beefsteak and its plate? It makes no sense.
Which is why I'm asking to bring Kirza back to the witness stand so we can ask him.
Officer,
Bring both the witness and the that testified back in here. Without a moment's delay. Dang, this case has gotten... I can't believe we've come back to up here again. But I have a hunch, a strong hunch, that if we... the key element to this case. Dang, that's a huge trial. Oh, I'll be right back, guys. Okay. Now where was I? Now where were we? Alright, I'm back. What's this all about? Why have I been caught up again? Do you realize it's dinner time for little baby Ado? My son's belly is empty. He's fancier than a pack of wolves. Sport about police, Mary. Like forced to bear witnesses. And when cast from this courtroom, myself and I became a ruined man thrice. It's worthless, withered antique. Nothing more than I have to say. The sun has set on this Shrewsbury shop's own existence.
And as it may, Katuda-san, something has come to the light. Requires your clarification. As far as his roots of memory serves, have you ever...
That's it! That's the one! That's the one, very one! Exact one, isn't it? But as how as I treasured that my rusty bow to make it upon the misplaced the fateful day.
Can't be, as I thought.
Young man, enlighten me, this decrepit old fool put me out of my misery. Where was my treasure? Where was it dropped?
I'm not sure if it was dropped anywhere. We found your coin sandwiched between a beefsteak and its plate, soaking in the seasoned meat's juices.
Sandwiched? Soaking? Seriously?
Clearly, it couldn't have fallen there by accident, which means somebody must have hidden it there on purpose.
Somebody concealed my Jose treasure between a slab of meat and a metal plate? I would do such a thing! Such a thing!
Excuse me, could I say something? Yes, of course.
Proceed, Inspector Hoskana.
I mentioned this earlier on the trial, but I was working undercover at the restaurant in order to investigate another case.
Yes, that's right, the secret undercover operation.
La Carva is a high-class Western cuisine restaurant. Diners, including many foreigners. Really, there's been a similarity of executed thefts targeting the restaurant's rich clientele. A number of such incidents have been reported to the police bureau.
Wicked crimes indeed.
We wanted it to nip on the case, but quickly, but especially with so many foreigners being affected. That's why you were sent undercover, wasn't it? Yes, I took the job of a waiter at the restaurant to flesh out the criminal. It seems likely that this Koban incident is the work of the same thief. Who was? A master thief to work in the restaurant on a regular basis. Place was already the scene of several crimes, it seems. I don't know about it, but the master thief part, but... Identity of the person who stole the Kyoto-san's Koban is all too clear.
Right?
That's still... The scoundrel. That's still the crab. I think I know who it was. It had to have been that... You said it was a foreigner, right? An army of Empire Japan. A foreigner. Yes. Seems like a likely candidate for the Koban thief. No, come on, Ryosuke. You're on the wrong track here. Oh, come on. Alright, who was the Koban thief? Whoa. Alright, so they want me to choose the other guy then. They want me to choose... Alright, so none of them. So he was Nights Online. I'll definitely have to join her here in momentarily. Yeah, figure out who the heck this guy is. I don't know if Nightwolf's doing another live stream or not, but let me Hold on, guys. I gotta do something real quick. Alright, guys. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead. See what we got. Alright, so obviously, it can only be you, Sergeant Asanosa. Oh, how? How dare you? You monster! Monster? I stole that coupon, did I? I'm the master thief, La Curva, am I? You seriously accusing me of these crimes, cadets? But it wasn't me, it was Ado! Ado's the mastermind behind all this! Really? Accusing your own son! You're accusing your own son! YOLO, babe. So get this. This guy's getting blamed for stealing stuff, and he blames his own son? Really? That's good parenting. Definitely good parenting. Voila. That was my sarcasm speaking. But anyways, you would push to blame your crimes onto your own son and innocent. Oh, you missed a lot, babe. Apparently, the dude was found poisoned, but now and there was blood, on this on the steak. But get this, the steak that this dude brought wasn't the lady's plate. That's what we're assuming. And there was a coin, which was that old man's coin. So now, So apparently that German cop dude that's on here apparently has been investigating a random thieves, and it could only mean that the thief could be this army dude. It's you who's a monster, Sergeant Nosa. Oh, that's me doing his voice. You. Chippy. Nippon, and putting it on me, Sergeant Nosa, preparing to stand down in the Supreme Court, sir. Do any of you know of the extraordinarily low wages the Nippon Imperial Army pays those who accept our country as safe? I understand the temporary increase of taxation owing the recently ended conflicts remain in place, but I have heard it for lower-ranking soldiers to make living wages, yes. I want this to put the money on the table for my son. That's why you were stealing all those things at the restaurant. The place is a heavy money. Every 3 days I go there to do a reconsignment for a target. And I enjoy chopping my way through a good steak at the same time. Well, sounds like he doesn't bother with the knife and fork, which is morally unbelievable. And your target was the old man in his koban? Yes, sir. He was an easy mark. I slipped the coin into my pocket without any trouble at all. A very veritable phantom chief you are. I was set to leave the steak. I was halfway through devouring when it happened. Yes, that's when the professor was shot. And I knew that if the police conducted a search and found the coin in my pocket, I'd be finished. And 802. So I hid the incriminating evidence as the devil. I slipped it under the stake, hoping that I'd be able to rendezvous with it again at a later date. This is ridiculous. Perhaps you could carry on with this absurd prating on your own time. Well, Miss Bree.
Well, of course, dear lady, of course. How rude of us. And quite sure there is no need to detain you any longer at all. May the esteemed gentlewoman please be excused your execution.
Indeed. The thief of the koban was clearly perpetrated by this babbly saddled sergeant. It would appear to be unrelated to Dr. Wilson's murder.
Of course it is. Hitting a corn under a lump of meat. The sheer nonsense is a search idea that astounds me.
Nonsense, is it?
Well, oof. As for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife or a fork, it's beyond nonsense, pure madness. Wait. What did you just say? Whoa, that last part you just said, lady. The last part you just said. That last part you just said. After picking up your steak and biting into it... Wait. My steak? After picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife or a fork. She picked up my steak? I just read that last statement. So that wasn't your steak at all. That was my steak.
Detaining her. Hold it. Miss Breet, you're free to leave.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Good luck, everyone. And good day. Renosuke, what's the matter with you? There's no time for daydreaming. Oh, no, it's just... Something about Miss Breet's parting words got me thinking. I can't quite work out exactly, but something she said jarred with me. I feel like there was a contradiction somewhere, something that didn't quite add up. In that case, just stop. In any case, don't stand there taking like a stupid deer in the head like Renosuke. Say something! Speak from your gut! Use your abs! Abs! Like the DDP yoga! Abs! I don't know. Sorry. You can think later, but if you don't call now, it'll be too late. The trial will be over. Wait, Miss Breet? What is it now? Just one last time. There's something I'd like to ask you. I'd like you to explain the contradiction in your parting words just a few minutes ago. What are you talking about? What contradiction?
What nonsense is this?
Well, parting words, what are you talking about, Renosuke? Hitting a corn in a lump of meat. That's sheer nonsense, such as it sounds me. Such an idea. And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife or a fork, it's beyond nonsense. Pure madness. Yes, yeah, you're right. Well, she said they're exposed in undeniable contradiction. I'm going to need to see some evidence, Consul. Miss Breet's roots truly is contradictory. Which were they to prove it? Okay. Biting into your steak. You just said biting into your steak, didn't you? Yeah. The words that she literally mentioned was this. Was literally the steak that Miss Breet had been eating before the professor was killed. Go on, yes. Miraculously, Your Excellency, the steak was on the victim's table just before the professor was killed.
Now you're just splitting hairs.
Not true. Doesn't something on the steak strike you as unnatural?
Unnatural? What on earth do you mean?
It's extremely obvious. I'm talking about the shape of the edge where it's eaten. You have noticed it too, Miss Breet.
What exactly, Consul?
Just a few moments ago, Miss Breet claimed no Englishman could even contemplate picking up a steak and biting into it without using a knife and a fork.
Of course she did. She refined English gentlewoman herself.
Take a good look at the steak, in particular where the edge has been bitten. As you can see, there is clearly defined barbaric teeth marks here. It looks like Miss Breet has realized something. So, if a witness, as she claims, wouldn't compensate eating anything without using a knife or a fork, there shouldn't be teeth marks on the steak at all.
But what's your actual point? Perhaps the delightful Miss Breed was whatever you say, my dear lady.
As I said, I really must be leaving now. Afternoon tea with the Minister of Justice cannot possibly wait any longer.
Of course. This will be over in a blink of an eye. Rest assured, I'm about to put this rookie...
I've heard enough. You every little spectacled samurai.
Of course, dear lady.
What's the matter, Miss Breed? Have we ruffled your feathers? Clearly, the witness knows what this means. She realized the catastrophic implications these teeth marks in the steak have had for her. Ryanosuke, do you know what you're going to do with this? Yes. Now, last, it's all come together. The mysterious teeth marks, which had literally been bitten with cutlery. The reason why the blood stain, I know, somehow seems to have disappeared. And most importantly, the evidence that proves that once and for all, who shot Dr. Wilson that day. I accept these teeth marks in this sticker. Not sure as you put it, counsel. What exactly are you suggesting to tell us? Everything, Your Excellency.
Everything?
Yes, I believe these barbaric teeth marks in the steak here amount to conclusive evidence in this case. But it will prove beyond a shadow of a doubt who shot Dr. Wilson. Conclusive evidence? How many times have I said that day? You will know the meaning of the phrase, the typical Japanese empty threats. How could you be so sure? It's quite simple. You really had such conclusive evidence, would you? Actually, the evidence I'm talking about hasn't brought before the court just yet.
Hasn't been what?
Just because it hasn't shown yet, doesn't mean that the evidence doesn't exist.
That's absurd. The trials run several hours already, and you say the evidence yet brought before it? That can't be. I don't believe you have it.
I don't. But there is someone who does have it. Someone in this very courtroom. A person is willing to submit their piece of evidence I'm referring to. It will solve the mystery of this very case. Very well. If I'm feeling it would be my last request of defense of this trial. Who possesses the evidence and revealed about this whole affair? Has to be the guy who who has the evidence? Has to be the guy who It has to be the gentleman who steals evidence. I'm, of course, talking about you, Mr. Satoru Hasegawa. The answer is obvious. It's Inspector Hasagana.
I have it?
Yes. You think I've been withholding conclusive evidence? That's ridiculous. No, I'm not saying that. Everyone's attention has been focused on the steak with the teeth marks.
Yes.
Now, earlier this afternoon, Sergeant Nosa told the court the following. I enjoy chopping my way through a good steak. As well as admitted to stealing Kuroko-san's coin, he told us he slipped it under the steak. You watch it, cadet? I'm a superior officer. Sergeant Nosa, could you confirm something for me? Was the steak you put, in fact, your own steak? Attention! Affirmative, of course. I might be a soldier of the Imperial Nippon Army, but still. I'm not brave enough to ask for a foreign gentlelady if she'd mind me manhandling her meal if I had something in it. In other words, the steak that the detective submitted as evidence earlier was in fact Sergeant Nosa's meal.
But that makes no sense. The plate was taken from the victim's table.
Yet the gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of her own steak, nor did she have an opportunity to steal the coin. Of course I didn't steal it. To even suggest... I think that would be an affront to the entire British Empire. Well then, how do you explain this paradox?
Exactly, sure you're not going to suggest
that the sergeant switched the two... Huh? You just said it, dude.
You did switch the plates.
Well, after it happened, when I saw the civilian had been murdered right in front of my eyes, that's when I panicked. And I said immediately, I lifted up the stick and hit the coin underneath it. And then the waiter announced that he was an undercover policeman. I thought I had it. And if he decided to investigate my slab meat, then that'd be it. I'd be getting my marching orders. So when the cadet here was arrested and taken off to the kitchen, I seized my chance. With military precision and timing, I switched my stick with the one of the foreign lady's table. What? You can't have... I never saw you do such a thing. I was called Operation Lieutenant Lightning Bolt. There was no time for strategic planning. It was do or die, I tell you. So yes, I did what had to be done.
Unbelievable.
However, fair or not, Prosecutor-san. No. I swear on the brass buttons of my uniform. That is all I did, sir.
Oh, you did? That's plenty, Sergeant.
So, if Sergeant noticed us switch the plates over, then it means he took Miss Breed's steak and the plate was back on his own table.
Yes, that follows.
Inspector Hasagana? Yes. Early in the trial, you told the court this. You said that you had not only taken Miss Breed's steak after the incident, but also the sergeant's. To preserve the evidence, you had taken both. That is correct. To the court now. The plate that was actually on the victim's table the precise moment he was shot. How could that possibly tell us now? I mean, a cold slab of tough meat. I could have been the slightest bearing on the case. No, you're not wrangling your way out of this time, lady. I beg your pardon? Surely you're not that forgetful. Surely you remember the reason why the steak was paying promises to prove such a problem for you or not. The ones who decided it was a problem, not me. The reason the defense asked to see the plate was to confirm something the defendant remembers seeing. Thinks he remembers. I'm quite sure what I saw, Miss Bree. On the side of the table was directly behind Dr. Wilson. But there was a of blood from the gunshot wound to the victim's chest. I believe the defendant's memory serves him well. Now, we have the evidence to prove it. The plate that you were eating from, Miss Breed. Let us not prolong this any further, Inspector. Will you show us the evidence to the court? Present the beefsteak and the plate that was originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident. Yes, sir. I see it. I see blood. I see blood. Right there. Here it is, the other stick that was on the plate. Please, feel free to examine it. There's blood. The blood stain. It's clearly visible, look. That makes everything clear. The blood stain you can see was on the other side of the plate. It shows the moment the victim was shot. Facing the table with his back to me. In other words, Naruto-san had shot the victim.
It can't be.
In fact, the only person who could have possibly shot Dr. Wilson was from the front. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is. That's right. Miss Jezebel Breet. It's you! Outdone by a Japanese schoolboy? No! No! What the freak is going on? Little chicks! Oh, little chickadees! Look at the judge's face. It's like, what the fuck just happened? Please excuse my little outburst. I briefly lost my composure. Most uncommon behavior for an English gentlewoman. Forgive me. Well, Miss Breach, I think it's time you told the court what actually happened that day. The truth this time. Gladly, Your Excellency. It was I who took the professor's life using Kira. As you submitted, I choose a particular day for one important reason. The professor had a dental appointment for the extraction of one of his teeth that morning. So you planned to kill the knowing that no trace of poison will be found in the water? Because Kiri is unheard of here in Japan? Yes, of course. I never intended to remain in the restaurant for as long as I did. I just only needed to see the professor to take only one sip of the water and it would all be over. As far as the plate and the stick I had ordered from him would make it appear as though he had been dining alone, and leave immediately, however. Before any of that happened, there was an unexpected visitor at the professor's table. That would be me, I suppose. Yes, you. Who else? Such a trifling matter. You decided to come over and greet the professor. Meant that I had lost my chance to slip away unnoticed. In due course, the professor took a sip of water and was paralyzed. I made sure he was sitting in this chair when he wouldn't fall. There's no going back at that point, so I concocted a plan on the spur of the moment. A plan to pin Dr. Wilson's murder on this innocent man? Happened, all I know is the professor always carried a gun, so I decided to use it to the fact of my advantage. But I had the bottle of the cure in my handbag, and my own pistol concealed under my skirt. Under your skirt. So I was right, there were two guns. Yes. Then I finished my coffee and got up to leave. That's when I noticed the professor's gun, which you had placed on the floor. Place where you sure would that I would notice it. Everything went according to plan. You noticed the gun as I intended. Hey, you said you bent down to pick it up. That's when you shot the professor with your own gun? That point that he was already dead? Naturally, the gunshot caused a commotion, which at the point water appeared. Obviously, a certain Nonasan was the true culprit and apprehended him. I took it back to the pantry's kitchen and joined the kitchen and I locked him inside. That's when I took the opportunity to turn to the professor's chair and have him turn around. Because, of course, you needed to make it look like the defendant had shot Dr. Wilson from where he picked up the gun. So, there you have it. That's the entirety of my misdemeanor. Your Excellency?
Yes?
I wonder... Might I speak with you from my speak with you in private later?
On you.
Thank you. Good day then, everyone. I hope you can forgive me, Naruto-san. He probably did to steal his research.
As it would seem, this trial has finally run its course. I presume the prosecution in agreement.
This can't be. Takashi Achi does not lose. Not unless of you, rookie student.
You better start getting used to the tough position.
Ryosuke Naruto?
Yes?
This is an insult to the Achi family name. We will never be forgotten.
You become conceited with age, Counsel, but the old have to stand aside to make a way for the new. This is the way of the world. You may get that.
Oh.
1,000 millennia may pass, and still, the Achi clan will never measure up to the Naruto clan.
This trial of the Supreme Court of Japan, why I believe will go down history as a start of a new chapter in our country's judicial system. Despite being summoned and accused, you and Inosuke Naruto be presented as an excellent case.
I thank you, Your Excellency.
And the evidence of the deduction to unveil the new truth is a modern technology. After all, it has only been a short few decades since our country has opened the doors to the wider world, but the Western science is rapidly gaining acceptance here. I feel that the science will soon bring new methods in investigation and new procedures of justice. A new future of law awaits, but it will look like I cannot begin to imagine. This is for the young to pursue. Kazuma Sagi!
Yes?
After this trial, you are set to embark on a journey to discovery to the Illusion's British Empire. You can learn all you can observe everything of the wider world that you are able to. And do not forget, you are to fulfill the mission imposed upon you.
I understand, Your Excellency. What was that all about? Why do you look so grave and all of a sudden? Never mind.
As for you, Inosuke Naruto,
yes?
In you I sense, how to put it, an unusual potential, but I very much look forward to seeing how you carry onwards.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
It's time to deliver the final verdict. I hereby find the defendant, Inosuke Naruto, not guilty. Court is now adjourned.
I can't believe it. I can't believe what happened. I made it. I made it by myself and through the horrendous trial. Ryunosuke, you finally pulled it off. Congratulations. Well, I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you, Kazuma. No need to do it. It was a pleasure to watch you work. place on the Yume signature. Don't forget. Good afternoon. Hard work has certainly paid off. I mean, congratulations, both of you, proving Naoto-san's innocence. Ah, a trustworthy judicial assistant. You have worked hard as a result, too, you know. Oh, no. I didn't do anything. Thank you so much. If we hadn't had that research report, Miss Breed, I don't know how things would have turned out. Your kind words should really be for my father. I was simply doing as he asked. It was his idea for me to go to the university and investigate. Your father? Oh, yes, of course. Forgive me for intruding the court's proceedings, Your Excellency. Speaking of Makotoba, there you are. I believe congratulations are in order. Naruto, you did an excellent job. Thank you, Professor. Oh no, it's I who I should be thanking you, after all. Your efforts exposed a true criminal that took the life of my good friend. Good friend? Oh yes. Oh yes. You mentioned that before. It was you who actually invited Dr. Wilson to Yuma University, wasn't it? Yes, that's right. Professor Makotoba studied overseas himself. He went to study forensic medicine in Great Britain. Presumably, that's when you met Dr. Wilson? Exactly. In those days, we worked together in the same hospital. And you worked together? I never heard you mention that before. Well, it was a long time ago. Besides, it's your turn, Asiagi. The Great Britain is a magnificent story, and it leads to the world. It's science, medicine, engineering, culture, and of course, in law. Which, learn, my boy. Let's see what's happening in the world's largest melting pot. I will. I'll learn all that I can. I swear on the spirit of the Asagi clan. You're not taking that sword to Great Britain, are you? Of course I am. I mean, it's a Japanese man's katana. I mean, a katana is the soul. I mean, the blade shows me where I need to go. And it cuts down anything that's in my way. Oh, yes, yeah, it's already with my own eyes. Let's see what that reminds me, what's happened to the woman? Oh, Giselle, to Giselle, Bree. I mean, after all, she is guilty of murder. Oh, yes, sir. It's not easy to tell you this, but she's surely going to face trial herself now. She's the true culprit, after all. She'll be leaving Japan in the very near future for Shanghai. Wait, what? Shanghai? Wait, what? Jezebel Bree will not appear in court again in this country, I'm certain of that. What? But why not? It's a matter of concert jurisdiction. Inspector. Hasengai? It was hard to fight battle in the courtroom today. Very impressive to watch. Wait, what's this about consular jurisdiction? Well, we cannot try for this particular foreigner for her crimes here in Japan. Wait. And why can't we try her? But then, you know, who's going to bring her to justice? British consular court will hear about her case somewhere far away, but where our voices can't be heard. But why a consular court? Professor, I simply don't understand. I thought consular courts were a thing of the past now. I mean, that we've signed the friendship treaty. Yes, in circumstances you're right. So then to this so long this is not a serious incident of a highly political nature to our representative governments. They can't revoke a consular court just like that. Oh, can't they? Yes, I mean, she is a student, but doesn't justify our government's making secret arrangements about her fate, does it? Something strange is going on. So Miss Bree can't be held accountable for her actions here in Japan? I'm for a young student. Today's trial was nothing more than a game. All along, there was never any danger of competence for her. I don't believe it. The British government's Foreign Affairs Ministry has demanded that we hand over custody of Miss Breed. They're obviously taking this as a foreign student committing murder very seriously. But it's going to change from now on. We can make a change. This is the time for the great turmoil. This new era heralds to the start of the 20th century. One day, I have no doubt, the woman will receive the judgment she deserves. Yes, change is coming, but we're the ones driving it. Well, I think that's enough seriousness for now. The city calls for a celebratory drink. Well, Professor, you're right. There's no time for gloomy faces. We should be celebrating Ryunosuke. We should be celebrating Ryunosuke's not guilty verdict. Let's start having some fun. In that case, I suggest La Carnival. As a head waiter, I should be delighted to provide you with an ample food and drink. You're a detective, Haskana-san, aren't you? Let's not worry about details for now. To La Carnival will accompany you, Professor. Of course, La Carnival's food is second to none. I shall go and attend the paperwork for Naoto-san's release. Oh yes, thank you. So Jessica Bree won't be tried here. Huh, I suppose that means I'll never know. I'll never find out why she killed Dr. Wilson. Kazuma? Yes, Ryunosuke. I just wanted to say, thanks again. You really saved my skin today. I didn't do a thing. I mean, you were the lawyer in there, weren't you? I mean, the defense was all your own work. But your skills make the difference, though. One day, I'll bet you'll be the bravest and best lawyer in the world. I'm not so sure about that. To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over again during that trial. I couldn't help but thinking that maybe you're the one destined to become a great lawyer, not me. Oh, you can't be serious. If I helped you today, it was only right at the very start of the trial. But you have a natural talent for it, for being a defense lawyer, I mean. Oh, no, not me! It was just a verbal combat. I never want to go through that ever again. I did what you told me to do, that's all. I could trust you. That's the point. Sorry, what do you mean? That's the point. Listen, Ryunosuke. Do you know what the most crucial weapon in any of that... The most crucial weapon is that any lawyer needs in order to win? Knowledge of the law? No. The ability to believe. To believe? Believe what? A defense lawyer has to fight for his clients. He has to believe in them at all times. Like you believed in me when I said I didn't do it. I'm human, just like you, but I don't have some superhuman ability to know the truth. But you have to make a choice about what to believe in and stick with it when you're defending someone. Sometimes in the courtroom you can only be backed into a corner. But being able to remain faithful to what you choose to believe in is even then. Well, that's not something that anyone can do, but it takes a special kind of person. Believing in your client. Just look at today's trial. I'm a student, a lawyer with precious little real experience, but you never stop believing in me. Well, you face seemingly helpless situations time and time again, but you never stop looking for the truth. And in the end, you found it. There, through your own efforts, it's because you never stop believing in me. Thanks, Kazuma. There's something I want to ask you, actually, Ryunosuke. Well, it's a favor. Really. Something very important to me. Sounds serious, what is it? Ah, you're still here, aren't you? Oh, Inspector Haskana. I arranged some rickshaws for us. Let's go. Thank you. We'll be right there. Okay, what is it you want, dude? Let's pick up this conversation again later. We should be celebrating right now. Your first victory. And your study tour to the Great Britain, don't forget. Oh, yes, that too. I have a feeling... So, my very first trial came to an end. Kazuma. Professor Makotoba. Sato-san, who acted as my assistant. Inspector Haskana, who didn't really play much part, but still. It was because of help and support from all those people that I managed to get through the trial. But more importantly, Kazuma hadn't managed to ask that favor of me. Little did I realize just how much it would change my life. This, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and pick up where I left off. The next live stream. Hope you guys enjoy. Bye-bye.